As the daughter of a rancher, I have been around the beef industry my whole life. My parents talk about markets, the weather, and our future all the time. It wasn't until recently that I really thought about what this means. My upbringing has been different from my classmates. My mother is a full-time cattle rancher and my dad is retired. From the time I was born till I started school, my family moved back and forth from New Mexico to Oklahoma to take care of our cattle. I can tell that my parents take great consideration to what I think because they asked me where I wanted to live before we actually made the commitment to stay in one place. These are still my parents' occupations today. There are both ups and downs to my mother's job. A disadvantage from my point of view is if there is an accident or something at all happens, she must be there, ASAP. An upside is that my mom is her own boss. This means that if she needs to take a day off for something she usually can. Examples of this are going to games or attending to a family emergency. Still, ranching is a part of our lives, and I could never forget that. Many people do not think about where their beef comes from, never mind the process that it goes through to get to the consumer. There are many things that the cattle must go through before you can buy beef in your local supermarket. The first step is that the rancher raises the calves to weaning. The second step is that the rancher sells the calves to a stocker grower, which is a person who grows them on grass till they are big enough to go to a feedlot. Third, the stocker grower sells them as feeders to a feedlot, where they are fed to their finished weight. Fourth, the feedlot sells them as finished cattle to a packer, who processes them into individual cuts. The fifth step is that a truck takes the meat to different places where you buy it. These places can be all around the world. Global economy is a big deal in our world today. Places like a packing house and city grocery stores are driven by trade. The cow herds in New Mexico may be getting smaller, but the demand for beef is definitely growing. Not only in the U.S., also in Brazil, Australia, China, etc. American beef ranchers and farmers are getting more pressure put on them. In places like Asia, Africa, or Europe, there is not enough land to increase beef supply. This leaves it up to North America and some parts of India. But are we competitive enough to make it in the world? U.S. beef producers will need to find ways to be globally competitive if our industry is to survive. There are always improvements that you can make. A lot of people focus on ways to increase animal disease breakouts. People are also looking at ways to raise more cattle for less money and supplies. One more strategy is that beef producers need the government to make more consistent rules. This would help reduce prices of things because of less confusion. I am not sure what my own future holds right now. I may return to my agricultural roots and follow in the footsteps of my mother and become a rancher. I just know that I am keeping my options open. However, I do know that I have been forever influenced by the beef industry. This is a speech about part of my life and what I think will become of the beef industry and what I think it could do to improve. Thank you.